band. To start with the obvious question, where does that band name come from?
Comes from Dee.
It just comes from the dark corners of my mind. And when I'm alone, no, just like a child's sentence, an impatient child.
You were working together, and can you tell us something about that? How that happened?
Well, maybe more importantly is that Thomas and Dee are married to each other. It's more important than the fact they used to work together. And then we were friends, really. We were just all friends. And Thomas and I had been making music a little bit before in some other bands, but Dee had never done anything before at all. And I guess you were sort of feeling, how were you feeling?
I was feeling a bit frustrated in my previous musical enterprises. So I decided, she said, well, why don't we start a band? The As a married couple. And then I thought that's a good idea. So we did that. But before we'd made any music, we said to Darren, we've got this band. It's called We Have Band. And he liked the name. And we said, do you want to join? He said, yes. Here we are. A couple of years later.
Yeah, but I've got something to say. But it wasn't a band that anyone was meant to hear. It was just meant to be, a bit of fun for a Wednesday night. Yes, of course it's still fun, but it's just people know about it now.
It was not meant to be something like this. Well,
it wasn't not meant to be something like this, but it wasn't.
It was quite secret.
Get off. It was. It wasn't like, oh, let's start a band and let's get signed and let's tour the world. It wasn't that.
I think it was quite secret.
Deedee's band, it's not secret anymore.
And then the first few gigs, none of our friends were allowed to come. That was your band.
That was Deedee's band as well.
No, Dee had never been on stage before. She'd never stepped on a stage before our first gig, so it was quite a big deal.
Do you want to ask another question? Because we seem to have been answering this question for a long time. Would you like to ask a different question?
Let's have another question.
Since O appeared, which was very popular and really started from 0 to 100, you took like 2 years to release an album, actually.
We never wanted to rush an album. We never wanted to be desperate to do something. What have you got?
And we toured a lot. We wanted to sort of play to people. We did a lot, like 140 shows in 2009. And then this year will be about the same. So it's almost like we were just, it's quite old-fashioned, just a band playing music, not so much worrying about, what's the release schedule and when do we have to get the next single out to radio. It was more just, making music, playing it, and the album came out when it was ready.
Next question.
Speaking of your work, that you worked at EMI, and there was no way or connection to release there, or you just didn't want to. Like I saw you released on another label. Was there no connection to that?
Well, EMI is a huge company. It's like working in a very large factory. And maybe being right at the bottom of it, and it's like any job. Of course, if I was an executive at EMI, maybe I would call someone. But I mean.
Even if you're working there or if you know people, I think if you'd have taken that route, I think it would have been cheating. And I think you would know. I think you need to do it. I think you need to do things and achieve them yourself through your own, hard work. The opportunity wasn't there. I think because we didn't look for it, so who knows?
We just did a remix for Gorillaz like a couple of months ago, which of course is on Parlophone, which is part of EMI, and that's the first thing we've ever had to do with them in 2 years. But it was nice because they came to us and said, "Would you do a remix?" It's just nice they just come to you when they want something for you because they think you're a good band. So it was quite cool.
Then I read your influences and inspiration. So can you tell us something about that?
I guess we just like. We like a lot of old stuff. We like. I don't know. Maybe I'm not sure what you might be referring to, like LCD Sound System and MIA and Animal Collective and the XX. But I think it's because it's quite interesting. I don't think you always need to look. So you don't need to look really far back with music always. You can if you want to, but there's lots of people doing really interesting and exciting things now, and I think it's just as important to pay attention to what's going on. But we like a lot of older stuff too. I guess we're just not one of we were never like one of those bands like, we love the Rolling Stones, I want to start a band, because it's like, of course they're great, it's kind of a given that a lot of these bands are great.